Today we're going to talk about the lift kit we purchased. We purchased a 3-inch body lift on eBay. Came with all the right pucks, everything. And sets pretty decent. The stance, I like that. We did find out there's a lot of modifications they're going to have to do. The clutch linkage for the clutch pedal is actually going to have to be extended 3 inches. We're going to have to add a adjustable telescoping extension to the steering shaft so we can get that extra 3 inches out. And because I didn't pay attention to that when we started, I also have to replace what I call the rag gear or steering coupler, because we put too much angle on it before we separated it, and now we're gonna have to fix that. But guys, go back and forth, suspension lift versus body lift. There's a lot of stuff you have to modify for the suspension lift too. You got to make sure your brake lines are long enough. All sorts of little stuff there too. So all I wanted to do is raise the body up enough that we could put some bigger tires on it, have that look to it. But there's a few other things you're gonna have to do. If you don't like the look of the grill, you know, see them cutouts in the opening, you have to get the bumper relocation mounts, which will bring the bumper up a little bit. There's a lot of little stuff. Either way you go with them lift kits. Not that it's totally problematic stuff, it's just more stuff. It takes time. So really think it out before you decide what lift kit you're going to go with. Personally, I think I would have went with suspension lift if I was more serious about off-roading or worried about that bumper look. I don't mind that, where the openings are in the grill. We'll show you later. We're going to have fog lights there. There's going to be a lot of that stuff be covered up. You won't even notice it. So it'll accommodate the bigger tires we want. We're going to go with probably 33s on this. It's got 31s on it now. Not a huge difference, but it'll make the truck look pretty sharp and not too high that it's hard to get in and out of. So stay tuned. We'll give you updates as we get this stuff done. We'll be extending the linkage on the clutch. We're going to have to. The other thing I noticed we're going to have to look at is the transfer case shifter. We might have to do something with that too, just for that gets dropped down 3 inches too. So either we have to extend that lever, or we have to do some adjustments on it to get that, to make sure it shifts the way it's supposed to. So stay tuned. We'll kind of keep you posted on all the modifications, what we got going on with it, and try and get you some good footage of what we did, and as far as how we overcame the little obstacles, I guess you could put it. And then we'll get some good pictures of what it looks like with the box and everything on it. Obviously, when you see the box, there's body work to finish on the outside. The floors are all done. The bottom's been painted, as you saw in earlier videos. So once it's on the truck, we can really go to town on finishing the rest of this up. I got this 3-inch body lift kit. These are all the pucks that came with, the hardware here. This is all part of the lift kit. Came with no instructions whatsoever. I also bought the body mount bushings to replace the ones on the cab. And so we had all new ones that were mushroomed out and all flattened out. These actually came with some pretty decent instructions. But with the lift kit, it's going to throw it all off. So we're going to try and walk you through it as we do this. Show you what I found is a good thing and what found it was a pain on this. Obviously no instructions is a pretty rough start to the lift kit. But there again, the lift kit was under $100, so you really can't complain a whole lot. It's not rocket science. I think we can figure it out. So guys, I got all the bolts out of the cab body mounts. So everything from the cab to the frame is actually loose right now. As you can see, this body mount up here, that rubber bushing there, everything I read on the instruction sheet here recommends that we screw the bolt back in from the underside. They come through the top of the cab down. They screw up to the underside, and then they take a punch and punch down on that threaded bolt, trying to knock this bushing loose. The reason being, this plate here and it's not as welded on. And there's actually a sleeve or bushing inside that rubber mount. You have to use that rubber bush or that metal sleeve again on these body mounts. I think it's going to be a little much of a struggle to get these out. Like I say, they recommend to screw this bolt it back in from the bottom. And then tap it out. The other concern I have looking at this lift kit, the bolts they give you for the cab mounts, I'm hoping it's just these threads are dirty in these bushing sleeves, but they're not looking to be the exact fit. What we might end up doing is taking that bushing out, cutting off that nut on the bottom, and running a regular nut and washer on the bottom of the new bushings. Again, we'll see as we dig into this, but stay tuned. We'll let you see what we got going on here. Well guys, here's all the body mounts off the truck. It's a train wreck. The instructions tell you how to take the body mounts off using the existing bolts. A couple of them work really well. When you get to the front, it's almost useless. I mean, this here, you're supposed to reuse this bushing. I'm gonna use the main part, the centerpiece here that you see where it's cut off. I'm gonna tap that out and actually just use the regular bushing in there. With the lift kit, lucky for us, we have a different setup as far as the washer and stuff, but really to use these sleeves so they're tight in the bushings, we gotta try and save them. And so anyway, just an update so far. This is why nobody posted a video on this, because there's no easy way to get them out. I mean, if you can find a set of this hardware kit and not have to use these, yeah, I think it's well worth it. I know it's hard to find on there, reasonable price. I think it's like $50, the cheapest one they found. But I know a lot of guys are saying $15 to $20 a bushing. So anyway, definitely worth putting the body mounts on. It's just using this old garbage, kind of a pain, a lot of cleaning up to do. But we'll get it, and we'll show you what's going on with it later. Okay guys, final thoughts on the lift kit. Wasn't horrible to put on. The hardest thing, like I said, was in the earlier video, was getting the body mounts off, and not so much getting the bolts out. They actually came fairly decent once you, I went around and used PB Blaster on them quite a bit before we took them off, but just getting the metal and rubber bushing out of the frame. There's a couple little tricks they showed you. Worked on the back mounts, not on the front. The front ones we ended up sawing off. Save yourself the hassle. Take your Sawzall, cut them things out, buy a set of new ones. It's worth the cost. If you have to pay, $50, $100 for the set of new body mount hardware, it's worth it, because you get them sleeves. They fit tight in the new body mount bushings. You're not messing with old hardware. Well worth every penny. The other thing, wasn't a bad deal, but this here is my clutch linkage. We ended up having to take and add 3 inches to that. That wasn't horrible. I wish we had had instructions with to let us know ahead of time. We do have to get the 3-inch extension yet for the steering column. I think on some of the models of the Fords, you can actually, I think the automatics, you can actually loosen one clamp up and get maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches, depending on what you adjust. On this one, it's not going to give us what we need, so we're just getting the extension. It's adjustable. It'll help with the steering angle. The only other thing I see, I'm going to show you in a second here, is the transfer case lever. I think we're just going to extend it 3 inches, because it'll be under the boot. You won't see it, but I'll kind of do like they did here. We'll put a splice in there, lower down, you won't see it, and then but it's just sitting low in the cab right now, and I don't like the look of it. So we're going to add that. I'll do a follow-up when we're done with that. And as you saw, the stance of the truck looks pretty sweet the way it's sitting. I do plan on putting 33-inch tires on there. I found some nice ones so far. Let me show what I got going on in that transfer case. See, it doesn't look awful from there, but it's just the way it's sitting in there. I don't really like it. I'm going to extend this up, and that'll sit back. Once I get that extended up, it'll sit where it belongs. sit where it belongs, and I like the look of it better. The shifter I could care less about. I got plenty of room there, but anyway, like I said, it just everything you're doing, you're changing the body 3 inches, so that shifters are going down 3 inches into the below the body now. So to account for that, we either got to add to it or put up with it the way it is. I don't like the look, so I'm going to move things around, clean the boots up, make it look nicer. But that's my opinion. Maybe you're fine with that, and it'll work. I'll show you just moving the boots before I change the length on them. I mean, it might look a lot better, but I don't like the look of it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and please subscribe. We got a lot of viewers out there that just haven't subscribed yet. That really helps us out. Thanks a lot. Stay tuned.